From New York City, it's Get Real with Jeanette Marco and Luis Pedron.
It's time to get real. Get real. Talking about the things you wanna hear. It's time to get real. Get real. We got it all right here. It's time to get real. Get real. Better buckle up, get real, get set. It's time to get real. Get real. We got it all right here. Come on. Whoa.
I'm Luis Pedron, Festival Director and Programmer of the International Film Festival in Manhattan, and it's time for Get Real! I'm actually solo right now, solo writing, because Jeanette Marco has a sore throat. So I'm doing the show right now. Wow, I'm having a hard time putting this on. We are interviewing several gentlemen who will be part of the International Film Festival in Manhattan. But first up, I want to read something that somebody sent me about. Nowadays, I have to go social media and stuff, but there's Twitter news that actually encourages us. This empowers healthy conversation online, but Twitter is partnering with UNESCO and asks to launch a special emoji to encourage people to think before sharing. You have to be careful with what you share, but of course, in the International Film Festival, we have to share everything, all the information about the films. The emoji will appear when the following hashtags are used, like Global MIL Week or Mag-isip bago mag-share at Mag-isip bago mag-click. So do be careful that you click. If you're mad, please don't post anything negative about people or when you're mad or whatever. And of course, the election time is happening right now. A lot of you are glued on your TV or on your radio. But anyways, no matter what side you are, if it's tonight or tomorrow, please, if you're on the other side or the other side, please stay calm. Please stay calm. So anyways, talking about calm, we have very mellow gentlemen right now who are part of the International Film Festival Manhattan. These are Filipino Americans that have been prolific in creating their films. One is Ricardo Catalan Jr., the feature filmmaker director of the movie called Karma. The second will be, of course, Gerard Texan, who's the director of House Rules, the short film. And last but not least, from LA, Marcus Durian from Los Angeles, the director of Fishhead. So let's have all three of them together. Woo-hoo! So yes, I guess we'll start with Karma. Karma, the movie, is directed by Ricardo Catalan Jr. He's actually a Filipino-American who right now is in the Philippines, literally in the Philippines. So this is his film. But his movie is actually about Filipino Americans or actually immigrants who live in New York City. This is a New York story. So Ricardo, tell me, why Karma? I know Karma is very, we can say some sort of like a religious type of belief, but why Karma? Why is your title Karma?
Well, because of the fact that when I initiated that idea of karma, because it's basically universal and it came from an Indian culture, but most people believe that whatever you put out forward will come back to you. So I said to myself, it's a cycle. So I said to myself, why don't I create a movie which is going to have a moral value towards whatever you do to anybody or the entire world? It all comes back to you, whether it comes immediately or if it comes later on. So it's a matter of the yin and yang type of thing, and it's more of a spiritual awakening or even a reawakening of people that would like to expose themselves to the world and be able to do such things. And whatever they do, they have a responsibility and accountability to whatever they do.
And of course,
yes,
for International Film Festival Manhattan, it actually features a lot of New York City. So tell us about
Oh,
that,
yes.
because a major aspect of the film is Manhattan in your movie.
Yes. Well, basically, when I was doing that movie, I was in New York City. I lived in New York City for almost 30 years. And I'm quite enamored with New York City, the buildings and the different aspects, the history of it. And I said to myself, this is the best way to be able to show what New York City life is for Phil-American families, and also at the same time be able to have a production value, so they say. That's what Fritz Silorio, one of my production designers, said. You know, make the most of what New York City can give you. So that's what I did.
And another thing you showed is a relationship between a husband and wife, and then rips between brother and sister. So tell us about relationships, because I know when you live abroad, your life is different. It's very hectic. It's work, home, work, home. So tell us about that type of relationship with the immigrant stories that you actually featured.
Well, basically, everything is affected when you're far away, and relationships are different from each other, like the sibling relationships, like love relationship with a girlfriend, boyfriend type of a relationship, and with the friendship, with the business partner type of a relationship. So it encompasses every kind of relationship in this movie. Including just like a one-night stand relationship, and a relationship between two strangers, basically. So I have depicted all those kind of relationship in this movie.
So Ricardo, don't go away, because I'm going to ask the other filmmakers, because a lot of their storylines are also about Filipino Americans. So stay there, right? So Marcus, tell us about the Filipino American experience that you actually featured in your short film. You do have problems within the family, and of course, it kind of showed how the different situations that happens within relatives, at parties, and of course, relationship problems about maybe having an ex, or your kid not knowing your ex, or something like that. So tell us about it.
So, I think a big thing about Fishhead is dealing with family issues. And, the big one in the film is, growing up in a single parent home, not knowing, your father, and, being picked on all the time, kind of how that affects you psychologically. And also, sometimes, looking for that father figure in different places. And, we start the film in a Filipino family get together. And, obviously the sisters are talking, and, one is asking the other about, if they've heard from their ex or whatever it is. But, it really explores different avenues of family or lack of family. And, a lot of it is based on, my own experiences growing up in a single parent home and not knowing my dad, never having met him. And, always having that feeling of, that wandering notion of, who that person might be, what they might be like, and how different life might be if they were actually in my life.
I guess I usually ask that question if there's anything autobiographical about your story, and you did say that, right?
Yeah.
So, I think when I talked to you prior to this, though, you did mention that there were difficulties in putting this out there, and you had different tries and collaborating with other people creating this film. Did you actually finally just produce it yourself, because it's hard to collaborate with other people, at least in this particular project?
Yeah. So, just to backtrack a little bit, Fishhead originated as a feature film. And when I first went out with it, I was lucky enough to get a few meetings with some interested production companies, but unfortunately, no one wanted to make it the way I had intended, which was, a Filipino-American story starring Filipino-American actors, who speak sometimes in Tagalog, and nobody wanted to do it that way. One company was like, oh, love it, but let's make them Caucasian. The other company was like, oh, we really like it, but what if they were African American or Black? And so, at the time I was like, well, maybe that's what I need to do in order to, succeed. But then, I started to change it, and I just realized that I was writing, my own voice out of the film, and it just wasn't something I wanted to do or was prepared to do. And so that was a big hurdle. And I kind of felt like, oh well, maybe Hollywood's just not ready for a film like this or a Filipino-centric film. And so I kind of shelved it for a while. And it was only until 2 years ago that I was like, well, maybe it's time to revisit it, because things are starting to change, and diversity is more of a thing. So yeah.
It's fate. And then finally it lands also in the International Film Festival, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But don't go away. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions about, fellow American stories. But right now we have Gerard Tixon. I know you create a lot of short films as well.
Yeah.
And you're actually an academe right now, part of a school. So tell us about your experience, because your Asian American story is about filmmaking, about creating a film, and then that storyline has relationships with Asian American parents and children type of relationship. Please do tell us about it, and is it autobiographical, Gerard?
It is kind of autobiographical and stuff, because it is my own story. As a Filipino American, like my parents wanted me to be a nurse or an engineer, but it never happened. Went through with my passion, kind of like the main character of House Rules, this short film. Actually, going back to the Filipino American conversation, I wanted to actually make like the actor of American. It's just that it's in New York. It's really hard to find more Filipinos that are in the arts, that are in the theater, acting, or anything. So I had to go through with my friends and Asian Americans, like specifically David, who's Korean American, and or sometimes I definitely have my friends who are African Americans also. But hopefully, through networking, I could find more Filipino Americans to definitely collaborate with. And with this film, it's actually like the same thing, my own story, going through creating micro budget short films, all the craziness that happens there, and and all the headaches that happens even through making this one. It was a headache to make, and you could actually feel it when you watch this short film. And yeah, it's like it hits right at home, because I think I wrote in frustration of like how sometimes majority of my projects could never get funded, but like for me, I could just definitely pull through with a shoestring budget and some of my great awesome friends who just wanted to make something awesome.
I do want to ask you though, because usually you're in a cycle of your life as karma, as Ricardo was saying, like everything is a cycle. Because you created a light-hearted version of that, you could have made it a drama, super drama, people crying and stuff. You made it a light-hearted comedy this time. Are you in that part of your life right now where you're happy and when you created this, at least it was pre-pandemic, I guess, right?
Yes, definitely.
But why did you choose to make it a comedy?
Well, the thing is, like, as a writer, I love having fun with my characters, with the story and the settings and everything. And definitely was leaning towards a dramatic thing, because I was in that part of my life, like saying, is filmmaking a right choice? Especially when I look at my bank account, is it the right choice to go through with this? But unfortunately, filmmaking gave me a lot of great opportunities to actually get a more stable type of job. But at the same time, the heart of it is just keep going and be happy and laugh at it,
Right.
Probably a couple more years when probably like I'm in the verge of like not doing film, I'll probably do a super heart-wrenching drama. But for now, I'm just having fun with it. We'll see what happens.
Good. You're still young, anyways. It's time to experiment and
Hey, look young.
make it
'cause I'm
lighthearted.
Filipino, but
I know. Thank God. I'm 75 years old, so like we're gonna look like this forever. Thank God. So I do have a general question for everyone. We're in the pandemic right now. It's how to pivot. Even the International Film Festival Manhattan, instead of canceling, we decided to go virtual. So how are you pivoting with your filmmaking, getting gigs, doing work or getting work? How are you thinking of what you're going to do in 2021? Let's start with Gerard, since you're on camera already.
yeah. One thing that I'm
What are you gonna do?
with this pandemic was it hits really hard with a lot of my filmmaking friends as well as myself. Like a lot of my projects got like delayed or canceled actually, and even it's hard to find gigs out there. But then I'm taking this opportunity to actually grow my YouTube channel. There is a good stable passive income that's happening there, but if it's working harder, it could be like something that could build into something more maybe the next couple of years and stuff. But so far, like at least that's my game plan until COVID is all set now, or controlled, at least in the US. But for now, I guess like anything indoors and within my camera and at home is something that I'm looking into.
So definitely, I'm also in that path. After the film festival, I want to grow my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Marcus, what are you doing? I know you're in the commercial filmmaking industry. Tell me how you're adjusting to this new normal and how you're pivoting in 2021, next year.
It's been very difficult because, I think even up till now, 75% of the, industry is unemployed. Or out of work. And even though production's open back up, it's still very, very slow to get going, especially with commercials. And, I've had clients from out of state who've decided to just either cancel altogether or, they're just going to hire someone else locally because they don't want to travel. They're, the whole thing with COVID. So, obviously, trying to find work at this time is difficult, but the good thing is that it's given me the opportunity to focus on writing and revisit some projects that I've had toiling around in my head and kind of put those on paper. But I think it's who knows what's going to happen over the next couple of months. So I think it's just really riding it out and trying to stay creative and, obviously, trying to, keep up with everyone and just kind of see who's doing what and see if there's any other opportunities. But until then, it's, one day at a time, I think.
One day at a time. Yeah. Talking about one day at a time and pivoting and changing their lives. Ricardo Catalan, Filipino American, is in the Philippines right now. So yes. How are you dealing with the pandemic and how are you going to pivot your life with all these things happening, man?
Yes, it's quite a challenge, basically. As we all know, the entire world is really stricken with this COVID pandemic and the lockdowns and all those things. But a few years back, as you well remember, I have an Arcat Media YouTube channel. And I have a website also. So I was already developing the platform that is in, ideally it's, online internet business. So I have already set it up in such a way that I created some contents, basically like blogging or news or even WooCommerce, an e-commerce platform. So I'm already set up right now, and I have a website which is arcat.media, and I also set up a YouTube channel which is Arcat Media YouTube channel. Basically, I'm kind of prepared and at the same time hesitant, but like any kind of business, you have to really be able to survive through whatever problems there are in the world. Amazon is now really ticking up because of delivery, sales and everything. The real estate right now is kind of off, and also the restaurant business. So I think in the next few years, we are geared basically to be YouTube viewers or internet customer base.
Small screen, yeah.
Yeah, small screen. Basically, an iPhone or a cell phone.
Right.
Anywhere you can be able to view the world. So
Right.
I'm taking advantage of the internet revolution. Right now, it's a reality where we need to do business and even trust, giving out your number, your credit card numbers, and buying through online, which the Americans, I can say that they've been used to it. For the others, they have to blend in and be able to go through with the changes. So basically, I'm relying on my Arcat Media platform right now. And in terms of movie making, I know it's kind of tough. Not unlike before, I was just wondering if it's going to last up until next year. Will you be able to shoot people with their mask on? Which is, it's a hard situation, but you can be able to create movies at the same time during the pandemic. That's what I can say. But I'm relying more on the internet right now, more than ever.
Before I ask you guys your general question, because time is running up and we have other guests, I do want to mention here in America, the protocol is everybody has to go several times before they go on set on a COVID test. They would test you and test you again and then test you on set. Of course, you have to wear the mask and take it off during a scene. And some Hollywood movies, like I've seen Tick, Tick, Boom of Lin-Manuel of Hamilton, you actually, they sequester you for 6 days before you can work on a set. So that's the new normal. But anyways, the new normal for the International Film Festival Manhattan is going to be virtual. Do tell them a few sentences about why they should watch your film. Say your name, you're the director of what film, and do invite them to the film festival and why they should watch your movie. Ricardo, start please, and do invite them to watch your Karma the movie at the International Film Festival Manhattan.
Yes.
Say your name.
To everybody, yes. To everybody, my name is Ricardo Catalan Jr., the producer, writer, and director of Karma the movie. This movie is basically for the entire world. Most especially in these COVID times, the pandemic itself and things that are happening so fast right now. But when I was making this movie, I said there will come a period in time that I need to come to let this thing out, this movie, Karma the movie. And this January, I told to myself, well, basically this is the right time to put it out. So I was able to successfully, bring it to the International Film Festival, which I'm very grateful to all of the film festival organizers to be able to be given different awards on this movie. And hopefully it's not only the awards that's so important about me making a movie, but it's about the story behind it. It's about the surprises, the little surprises and the big surprises. And I can tell you about this movie, Karma the movie, is that you watch it from the start to the end. And I feel that it's going to affect you greatly. Not only on the different segments, but the entire movie, the impact of the entire movie, emotionally, spiritually, personally, and physically in every which way, because I have included all of the relationships involved here and the price that you pay, whether you do good or you do bad. Every one of us is already subjected to this kind of, feedback cycle, which is a cycle also. So watch the movie and be prepared for surprises, things that you follow, the character that you follow on each segment of the movie, and try to digest it, because in the end, I assure you that it'll create a big impression on your life. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you, Ricardo. And Marcus, tell us about Fish Head and why they should watch Fish Head at the International Film Festival in Manhattan.
All right. So, hi everyone. I'm Marcus Durian. I'm the writer, producer, director, and cinematographer of the short film Fish Head. Showing at the International Film Festival in Manhattan. Fish Head is a Filipino-American coming-of-age story that deals with a young boy's, trials and tribulations with identity, being bullied at school, and also, takes a look at some of the, subconscious effects of colonialism, that, certainly is relevant today amongst all Filipinos, but I think more importantly, I think it's an international story and it can appeal to everyone. And I think it's also a shared story. I think we all have this experience in some point in our lives of being bullied or made fun of or being picked on, for any reason, whether it's the color of our skin or just the way we look or speak, whatever it might be. But, I think more importantly, it's told from a Filipino perspective. And I think that's not something that you see a lot of. I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons to see the film is the representation.
Representation. Thank you very much, Marcus Durian. And of course, Mr. Gerard, tell us about your film. Why did you watch it at the film festival?
Hey guys, this is Gerard Texan, the writer-director of House Rules. And the reason why you guys should watch this awesome short film is because it's super hilarious. You'll figure out why, a lot of these independent filmmakers do what they do and all the craziness that happens on the set, and made us kind of rethink that we should have been a nurse or a doctor like our parents said. But you know what? We're going to keep going through our arts. So check out House Rules and you'll see some awesome familiar faces from the actors there, because they're the same actors that I do have in my YouTube channel, Dayside TV, where David, Sean, these guys are so hilarious, and hopefully everybody will definitely check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I always feature Filipino films at the International Film Festival in Manhattan, but these are the set of the hottest Filipino Americans filmmakers in the film festival. And in the US, Gerard Texan for House Rules, of course, Marcus Durian for Fish Head, and other feature film, Carmen the Movie, Ricardo Catalan Jr. Thank you very much, guys. Woo-hoo! Maraming salamat. See you guys at the film festival, even though it's going to be online. Maraming salamat.
Salamat.
Maraming salamat. Salamat po.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we still have another interviewee. I'm going to read the Irumbu. Irumbu is an offbeat Malayalam movie, which is not a commercial film at the strictest sense. Nevertheless, the film explores the socially relevant topic of rape victimization of affected father and mother, which appeals a cross-section of movie buffs. As Irumbu being an exception to the run-of-the-mill genre movies that makes it different from other genres is the fact that the treatment of the subject is completely different from the ones that Malayali audience is actually used to. Malayalam cinema is the Indian film industry based in the southern state of Kerala, dedicated to the production of motion pictures of the Malayalam language. It is also known as Mollywood, a combo of Malayalam and Hollywood. Malayalam film industry is the fourth biggest industry in India. Manav is the star of Malayalam movie Irumbu, which gains global recognition because she's been winning global recognition around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, let's have Manav, who's actually in India right now. Is Manav in the house? Manav. There he is. I was afraid you're not there, but thank you for staying on, though. I know you woke up so early. We have a time difference from New York. Thank you very much for coming in. So tell us, I know I actually read about what Malayalam is. All we know about here in America will be Bollywood movies. So what is Mollywood movie? What's the difference between that? And then we'll talk about Irumbu later. Just define what Malayalam or Bollywood type of movie is.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you please repeat the question?
Define what Mollywood is, your type of movie, as opposed to Bollywood.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Manav. I'm from Kerala, which is the southern region of India. Okay, I'll tell you about Mollywood. Mollywood is Malayalam film industry, and it is based apart from Hollywood movie, and there is Bollywood also. Bollywood also in India. Bollywood movies are like Hindi movies. It's based on Hindi language movies, and Mollywood is based on Malayalam language movies.
Mm-hmm. And then you're, I forgot to say namaste. So I'm honored to have you at the film festival. Your movie is a feature film, which is quite unusual. It does have a lot of action, not a lot of words, not a lot of dialogue, but it had a lot of emotions from beginning to end, to having all those cycles of fear, hatred, revenge. So tell us about how you experienced that roller coaster ride of reenacting the script into almost like a non-verbal thing throughout the movie.
Okay. It was like a really challenging role for me. First of all, at the time when our movie director and writer approached me and told me about this subject, I thought, this is going to be a big challenge for me because it's like, as you said, it's like it's like there is a lot of emotions are there. So and also we were like very serious about movie that it should give a message to the society. Like a lot of situations like this are happening in our country, right? So we were very serious about this issue that we have to give a good message to the society, and hopefully we hope that we did sincerely we did what we can do to the maximum.
How about experiencing the direction? What was the process with you guys? Did you actually do a workshop? Did you discuss what you guys are going to do? Especially that it's so emotional. I know it's draining. So how were you guys directed, and how about you? How did you prepare for such a very difficult type of role?
Yeah, we did a lot of homeworks. Like we sat together and we discussed each and every scenes of this movie. Like my director told me that the first scene should be like this, and second scene should be like this, and we did a lot of rehearsals before starting the picturization of Irumbu. It took almost 1 to 2 months pre-production work.
1 to 2 months of that. Wow. So and it is difficult too, because besides the emotional part of it, it's very action filled with all the fight scenes and stuff. Have you ever done but you look like you could do action movies, so but have you experienced that before in other movies, or I don't know, like, because half of the movie is like that big fight scene.
Before this movie, I did action movie, but not to this extent. In this movie, I did a lot of action sequences.
You did your own stunts too, right?
Yeah.
You created that. So how was that? How was that difficult too? Because you actually were almost like killing each other, without saying, of course, the ending or whatnot. But it was pretty intense. For the Like
Okay.
a River, though, it was really intense. So how was that with your co-actor, doing those
Um,
scenes?
Uh, Actually, my stunt director told me that it should be like cinematic, like like the conventional movies. But mine and my directors and writers' suggestion was it should be like realistic. If someone comes and if the father of the this in this movie the lead character did by which I did was the character of Anthony. Okay, Anthony is having a lot of pain in his heart. So
Right.
it was like I really wanted to be the action sequence to be realistic. So I just suggested our action director that it should be a live. There shouldn't be anything like cut and go. When the camera is on, it should be like throughout. There should not be any cut. Okay.
It was one take, yeah. And then tell us, because I was asking the other filmmakers about in the film, there's a lot of relationships with family, with husband and wife, and conflict, and all of that. I know India is like the Philippines. We're very close to our family. We're very close to the children, the parents, and whatnot. So tell me about that relationship that was shown in the film and how it is actually in real life in India about our families really that close knit.
Yeah. In India, our culture is like the families are bonded really, together. Children used to live with their parents, even after they're getting married, and even after studies also they used to, live with their family. There is a hard bond between the family in India, and in a movie also you can see the same thing.
Right, it certainly is reflected. How about your relationship with the writer and the director, though? A lot of the film collaborations in the film festival, as they ask them questions, they know each other already. Have you actually worked with other, the director, the writer, the production? Have you already worked with them, or is it the first time that you collaborated with them?
Yeah, with the director and I'm collaborating for the first time with the director and the writer in this movie.
Okay, yes. And then in this particular one, tell us about your co-stars. Of course, you worked a lot with your wife, the actress who played your wife, and some scenes were, touching scenes with the children. So how is that working with your co-actors? Because all the scenes were super emotional, and usually it's hard because in this movie you're the one who showed all the emotions.
Mm-hmm. The actress of this is of the Alice character. Alice is the leading female actor of this movie, Edinburgh, and this is her first movie. She doesn't have any previous experiences. Yeah. This is her first movie, and everyone appreciated her work. This is her first movie, and we are so happy that she didn't even face in the camera before our movie. This is the first time she's facing in front of the camera.
Wow. And of course, the other character in the movie is that rural setup. You did do a lot of scenes that it features the rural landscape of that province. What was your location? Was it Kerala, or what part of your region is that?
It's Kerala. It's the northern part of Kerala. It's called Kasaragod. It's the northern part of Kerala.
Right. It's so rustic and it's so real. So tell us about that, like shooting in that particular rural area. Was it difficult? Did you have a hard time shooting there, or was it nice and easy to shoot in a very peaceful place like that? And then you created that movie there.
It was really difficult for us to shoot in that part of that region, because this is the people are facing, they are witnessing a film shooting for the first time. Okay.
Really?
So yeah, it was their experience, their first experience. So it was really difficult for, and there was no hotels for us to stay, and all we have to find places to stay, and we had to approach some houses, and we had to ask them to provide us the stay and all, and this family, the Anthony and his family's house is totally set work. So it took almost 1 week for the art director to put that set and all over there, and it was really hard for us to find a place for doing the set work. So we had to convince the land owner for setting this house for shooting. Yeah. But we are happy that the results are good.
They welcome
we
you.
got selected for so many.
Right.
So many.
Do
We got selected for so many festivals, and we got so many awards for our movie. So
yeah, it's still
we
going
are so
around. Yes.
happy that the results are very good after facing a lot of difficulties and hard work.
Talking about difficulties and hard work, it's going around the film festivals and what. How about the next for you? Because it's hard to face the new normal with all of this. Jobs are lesser now and stuff. How is Mollywood doing? Are there a lot of filmmaking going on now? What are the new protocols and what's the new normal in filmmaking in your Mollywood part, and in India right now, filmmaking?
Here, the situation is very, very difficult. That a lot of film technicians and actors lost their job. Almost they lost their job, and it's very difficult here. After this pandemic, only 2 or 3 movie shootings are going. Before this, last year it was like almost more than 120 or 25 movies.
Wow, and they're just 3 now. Oh, wow. It's that bad.
Yeah. In Kerala itself. Okay.
Right.
But now there is only 2 or 3 movies are going on, and all others are jobless right now, including the actors and the technicians. The situation is very, very difficult right now, but hope everything will get changed.
Yeah, hopefully. How are you dealing with that, with your new normal? And what are your plans for 2021? So how can we pivot? How can we create, something, our own work or whatever? Like, any plans for you for 2021?
Yeah, I'm doing right now. I'm doing some discussions over phone and social media like Zoom and Amazon. The discussions are going on right now with regarding a couple of new projects. So we plan that under this the government rule, we can't make movie with 10 or 20, 10 or 15 people. It's very difficult for us to picturize. But the government rule is like you can picturize a movie, but it should not exceed 15 or 10 or 15. Maximum you can put 15 people, but it's difficult for us. So I used to talk to my directors and producers that we should wait for at least 3-4 months. Then we can plan what to do further. And discussions are going on. The scripting of the new projects are going on. Okay, in between. So after 2 or 3 months, we will plan to what we can do under the current situation.
Yes, let's all pray that everything is better so we can create our own films. But right now, let's end it with a question like this. So say your name, your film, and actually what is your advice to actors and filmmakers out there who want to create their own film? But basically what your advice is as a professional actor, how they should do this with this new normal and how to prepare for films. And since we're in International Film Festival in Manhattan, how to be a Mollywood star like you.
Okay. Hi. First of all, I would like to thank the jury, all the members behind International Film Festival of Manhattan for officially selecting our movie. Thank you so much. And also, on behalf of our entire team, I thank you. My movie Irumbad is directed by Pradesh Krishna. This is his debutant movie, and the story, screenplay, and dialogues are written by Nitin Narayanan, and the director of photography did by Anand Krishna. This is his first movie, so we all are happy that we got officially selected for in a prestigious film festival like International Film Festival of Manhattan. We are so happy, that much happy. There's no words how much we are happy at present. And my advice to I'm not even have words to say how much I'm happy. Okay, my advice to the new comers is like we should seriously approach filmmaking, and the better you should, our movie should be like something which can give a message to the society. Okay, that's what I'm having to tell.
So thank you very much, Manav. Manav is actually from India. Congratulations for starring in prestigious and actually award-winning film Irumbu from India. You can see Irumbu at the International Film Festival in Manhattan. They're representing India, of course. You will be able to watch International Film Festival Manhattan online. Our website is IFFMNYC.com. You will watch it November 19 to 22, 2020. And do check out the different schedules. And of course, Irumbu, starring Manav, you will see the action-filled, emotionally filled movie called Irumbu. Thank you very much, Manav, for being part of the show, Get Real. And of course, for waking up super early for this. Again, my name is Luis Pedron. On behalf of Jeanette Marco, she has a sore throat right now. I'm here in New York City promoting and actually asking you guys to please join us at the International Film Festival Manhattan, November 19 to 22, 2020. We are now broadcasting actually on PHLV Live from Las Vegas, but I am here in New York. I know you guys want to watch your election results right now, but in any way, if you're on this side, please stay calm and let's just listen into what the results will be. Praying that all of you will be safe, healthy, and of course, thank you very much for being part of this. Please support all the radio shows of PHLV Radio. Thank you very much. I'm Luis Pedron from the International Film Festival Manhattan in New York City. Mwah! Thank you all the guests today. And pagaling ka, Jeanette.
It's time to get real. Get real. Talking about the things you wanna hear. It's time to get real. Get real. We got it all right here. It's time to get real. Get real. Better buckle up, get real, get set. It's time to get real.